On the road to Chongqing, the retreat stopped. Fresh Chinese troops counterattacked, hurled back the Jap. Nanning was reoccupied as the enemy, caught between counterattacking air and ground forces on the continent and the threat posed by Allied invasion of the Ryukyus, began withdrawing toward the north. At recaptured Nanning, C-47s began to arrive, bringing supplies and animal transport. To rested and re-equipped Chinese forces, the American capture of Okinawa brought a change of plan. Instead of driving the Jap out of China, their job now was to pin him down, to keep his overextended lines spread thin, to keep him from gathering his full strength for a determined stand at any one place. Air supply kept the advancing Chinese moving forward without pause. On 29th June 1945, Chinese forces pushing northward from Nanning re-entered the city of Luzhou. Luzhou Air Base, captured 2 days before the city fell, was gutted, would have to be entirely rebuilt, and quickly, if the Allied plan was to be effective. C-47s landed at emergency strips, bringing American and Chinese specialists who were to supervise the reconstruction. Jap minefields, estimated to consist of more than 1,000 mines, destroyed equipment, prevented work, cost lives. Included in the booby traps were small American bombs, accidentally left behind, which the Jap had fitted with special fuses. For the returning Chinese, the first job was to put the airfield into operable condition. And as at most China bases, manpower had to substitute for unavailable machine power. By mid-July, Luzhou was ready for the 14th Air Force fighters, which were already arriving to strike quickly at the retreating Jap. With the air base again in operation, the people came back to their ruined city. Luzhou, too, would have to be rebuilt by hand. Whatever buildings the Chinese had left when they fled the city, the Jap destroyed as he withdrew. Food and water were scarce, housing facilities primitive, but the Jap was gone from Luzhou. The people could begin again. And already Chinese troops were gathering to drive on Guilin. Sharpening the Jap crisis were the air forces, stabbing across middle China to sever enemy communications. On 30th June, 14th Air Force B-25s attacked the Lohokai Railroad Bridge south of Kaifeng. 8,000-pound demolition bombs ripped up the southern approaches to the 500-foot steel span, disrupting Jap use of this vital supply route to the Yellow River area. To expedite troop movement, battle-weary bombers were turned into transports. A converted Mitchell crash lands at Hancheng. All passengers escape uninjured, including 7 men who had bailed out previously. B-25s en route for another strike at the Lohokai Rail Bridge on 21st July. 2 runs were made over target, and 40 composition B bombs were dropped, completely destroying 2 spans of the bridge. No opposition was encountered, and all planes returned safely. This is the first Okinawa-based B-24 strike on China. Target for the 7th Air Force Liberators on 17th July is Changwon, an important airfield in the Shanghai area. Fighter escort drove off Jap interception attempts, and 90% of the bomb hits were in the selected target area. Five days later, Okinawa-based B-25s returned to Changwon to finish the job. The target for fighter-escorted 14th Air Force mediums on 25th July was the Xinyang marshalling yards, an important distributing point for Jap troops and supplies transshipped to northeast China. This strike, the second one against the objective on the same day, saw all bombs land on target. Biggest surprise for the hard-pressed Jap came with the first use of American-trained Chinese paratroopers, newest adjunct to the Chinese Army. Parachutes are fixed as the planes near the drop zone, 70 miles below Canton in the enemy-held South China port area. 14 C-47s participating in the drop are escorted by 4 Nanning-based P-51s, but no opposition is encountered during the entire operation. The mission for these paratroops, trained in secret at Kunming, is to harass the enemy by blowing up bridges, rail lines, supply and ammunition dumps. On 27th July, 14th Air Force C-47s were again carrying Chinese paratroops. This time the target was Hengyang, giant rail hub, and jumping off place for the Jap push into South China 10 months earlier. Objective for these paratroops is to cut northbound communications and prevent the Jap from sending reinforcements against the Russian attack. The Russian participation in the war against the Jap had been planned since the Tehran Conference. The operation, a carefully guarded secret, took place on 9th August. On all sides, the enemy in China was being readied for the kill. As Allied air power closed in on the Jap homeland, Satawara on Kyushu was the objective for the Okinawa-based 7th Air Force bombers on 16th July. Vast sea power gathered in Okinawa harbor was visible to 36 B-25s on their way to target. The bombers, escorted by 48 P-51s, struck at Satawara with 144 500-pound general-purpose bombs to smash the railroad bridge. On 27th July, 7th Air Force planes struck against Kagoshima. This attack, launched the same day as the Chinese paratroop drop at Hengyang, saw Kagoshima's marshalling yards turned into a holocaust of smoke and flame. Japan was being badly battered, and still to come was the atomic bomb.